Will the gibbons be more or less active when more people are standing around the exhibit? We think the gibbons will be a lot more physically active when there are more people watching.
Human-like body, no tail, lack higher cognitive abilities than other apes, lack self-awareness, long arms, dense hair, throat sacs, and loud musical voices. Most gibbon species are about 16 to 26 inches in head and body length, except for the Siamang gibbon, which can grow up to 35 inches. The smaller species weigh about 12 pounds, while others like the concholar gibbon weigh up to 17 pounds. The female siamang weighs 23 pounds, while the male weighs 26 pounds.
Gibbons are very fast when swinging in the trees. They use their long arms to swing from branch to branch. Usually, gibbons prefer to stay in the trees, and very rarely do they escalate to the ground. The day is their primary time for being active. They live in small monogamous groups that defend territories in the treetops.
Certain species of gibbons require a certain habitat. Northern gibbon habitats have low temperatures and have a remarkable variation of fruits in the habitat. Other gibbons, however, require to stay in a tropical habitat like rainforests. Javan gibbons are typically natives of only Indonesia.
Javan gibbons mostly eat fruits, leaves, and occasionally nectar and grub. They often have to travel far in order to find their food, so sometimes multiple gibbon families will share the same fruit tree.
The type of gibbon we observed was the Javan gibbon. The Javan gibbons are natives of Indonesian dense forests and jungles.
Kingdom Animalia, phylum Chordata, family Hylobatidae Gray, genus Hylobates, species Hylobates mollic.
Gibbons are the most endangered apes and also the most endangered primate species of the world, due to habitat loss, hunting, and illegal trade. There are less than 2,000 Javan gibbons in the world. Gibbons can jump 30 feet in a single jump. The process of gibbons jumping from tree to tree is called brachiation.
First, we arrive at the zoo and find the gibbon exhibit. Then a person starts the timer for 2 minutes. Another person watches for any sort of physical activity that the gibbons make in the 2 minutes, and also how many gibbons were active during the 2 minutes. The third person counts how many people were standing/walking around the exhibit during the 2-minute testing period. We will record 2-minute intervals 45 times in order to get a total of 90 minutes of data. As we are timing the gibbons to see how they act around people versus no people, we will be recording all of our data into tables. We will write down the number of people around in one column and the number of gibbons active in the other column. Lastly, we will check to see if our hypothesis is correct.
One, you will need a blank data table. 2, a pen in order to write down the data we are observing. 3, a stopwatch. We observed that the temperature was very cold, which they're unfamiliar to in their natural habitat, which could have caused a lack of physical activity. We also observed that the gibbons never touch the ground, which is very common in this species. They tend to swing from branch to branch to get where they need to go because they are more comfortable in trees.
The mean, median, and mode of the number of people around the exhibit was 6.1, 5, and 3. The mean, median, mode of the number of gibbons active in the exhibit were 1.4, 1, and 1. The apes we observed did not follow our hypothesis. By standing outside their cage and recording their activity, we observed that the Javan gibbons were more active when they had fewer spectators. This we concluded from our 90 minutes in data and keen observation of the gibbons' movement.
Within our time researching and observing the gibbon, we came to appreciate the species and its many unique characteristics. The ape's activity and interaction with its other primates in the cage made for a great use of data. We were able to identify the behaviors we read about and record a variety of different activities. For example, when it was just a group members standing around the cage, the apes began to move from their previous huddled position, and even more movement when one or two of us walked away. When more people walked past the exhibit, however, the apes began to slow their movements. This contradicts our hypothesis, as we assumed the gibbons would be more sociable with a larger crowd. Watching the gibbons and their interactions with each other made for a fun trip to the zoo. We were able to learn about a very endangered species of apes and also observe their quirky character traits.
Number 1, the temperature. Number 2, the time. Number 3, miscounted number of people. And number 4, stopwatch accuracy. Number 1, why are the gibbons less active when more people are around? Number 2, would the gibbons have been more active if their climate was warmer at the zoo, like in their natural habitat? And number 3, would our results have changed if we would have observed them later in the day?
Animal gibbon. Ethology question: is the declining population of the wild gibbon affected by the number of gibbons in captivity? Hypothesis: the declining population of the wild gibbon is being affected by the number of gibbons in captivity in a positive way because it is saving gibbons from being hunted in the wild and also from losing their habitat.
How to collect data. We could research the current number of gibbons in the wild and gibbons in captivity, and over a period of time see how rapidly each group of gibbons decreases. Usefulness to others. With the help of this data, we could save a species from going extinct by finding ways to protect gibbons by putting large numbers of them in captivity and letting their population grow, and then releasing them back into the wild.